All right, everybody, Gabe Jenkins back with you. We're going to work on AutoCAD drawing number one. It's our very first time working with AutoCAD, and so we're going to try to just show you some of the basic stuff that you're going to need to know when you're starting out on your AutoCAD career. I'm going to go a little bit maybe more slowly than somebody would be going if they knew how to use AutoCAD well, just because I want to talk to you about some of the settings that help you to create an AutoCAD drawing environment in exactly the way you want to be able to do it. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of these settings down here that allow you to snap to certain objects or turn the grid snaps on, or etc. We're going to talk a little bit about all the different settings. But this is our very first drawing. We did a couple of things where we worked with drawing a line using the coordinates, the Cartesian coordinates, X and Y coordinates, but you're not going to be using that pretty much ever again. Right? So we're going to learn how to use the line tool. Again, there's a separate whole video about using the line tool. We're going to make sure that we understand how to see if that line is going to be perfectly horizontal or vertical. We're going to be using the dynamic input tool. Make sure that that is turned on. It looks like a little battery, maybe something like that. Maybe it's a little text box. If you don't see it down at the bottom of your screen, if you click way over here on the bottom right, you're going to see something that says dynamic input. Just make sure it's clicked on, because that will be helpful for you today. But that's going to make sure that we understand how to set the length of a line and the angle of a line as well, and talk about how AutoCAD thinks about angles. We're going to talk about snaps for a second. Like if you're trying to draw something and you want either the end of a line or the radius of a circle, you want some part of the thing you're trying to draw to snap to automatically connect to something else, and you want to have AutoCAD show you those points, we're going to talk about snaps. Lastly, we're going to save the file and make sure that you understand the naming convention I'm going to ask you to use. All right, so with that, here's the first drawing we're going to do. It's a pretty simple drawing. It's got all straight lines. There's no curves or anything here. It's got a bunch of dimensions, and I know we're just getting used to looking at dimensions, and that's something that's going to, something we're going to have to get used to. We're going to learn a little bit more about it in class, so this is not by any stretch like the last time we're ever going to talk about it, but I'm going to assume that you can read most of these dimensions pretty straightforwardly. So it means like the 46, for example, right here, means that from this point here to that point right there is a line that's 46 units long. Okay, so let's get started. We're over here in AutoCAD, and I got my origin right here. Before we used coordinates to talk about the starting point and the end point of any line, we're not going to do that anymore. There's two ways to make a line. You can either click on the line tool right here, or you can go down to the command line and type in line, right? If you type in line, it highlights a bunch of stuff. Well, what if you just type in L? L also gives you the option of selecting a line, right? And so you might get to the point where you're used to using the keyboard as a key tool to determine what tool you want to use, and a lot of people get used to that pretty quickly. It makes it more of a two-handed operation as opposed to just using the mouse. But it's up to you, right? I'm going to use the line tool up here for now just so we can see what it looks like. You notice when I hover over the line tool, it gives me a pop-up window saying what does the line tool do and how to use it. All of these tools do the same thing. You just let it sit there for a second, it will show you. This is the center diameter tool. Here's what a polyline tool does. All of these things are tools that you can use. And the hover just kind of shows you what they are. Right, so let's get started. I'm going to assume that my origin is actually right down here at that corner right there, and I know I'm going to draw a 46-inch line long, 46-inch long line to the right, horizontal. So I'm going to click here, click my line tool, and it says specify my first point. Okay, well, I'm going to type in 0, tab, 0. Those are my coordinate points, my Cartesian coordinate points, my X and Y coordinate points where I want to start. So I'm going to start right there. And you can see it automatically starts my line right there. So now I'm going to draw a line, and I'm just kind of moving it around. Okay? If you don't see that little blue box right there that says 13.5 and the other box that says 32 degrees, what it means is that you don't have dynamic input turned on. So turn that button on right there, and it'll give you those two boxes. Next thing I want you to notice is as I move my mouse around, I still haven't clicked anything, but as I move here, if I move to a straight horizontal, I have this setting so that it automatically when I'm horizontal, you can see that my line extends and turns green. That means that if I type in how long I want this line to be, it will assume that it wants me to make it straight horizontal. So if I type in 46 units long, enter, it's going to make a line that is 46 units long and straight horizontal. Now, the line tool again it assumes, I'll say this, it assumes that you want to just start the next line wherever you just ended your last line, right? And so it's just I don't have to type in my new starting point or anything like that. But let's talk about snap settings for a second. I'm going to hit escape and get out of this tool. You will see snapping reference lines right here, right? Is it going to snap to a certain reference line? And you're going to see this one right here that says, it looks like a circle with an angle in it. If you click the drop-down menu, it asks you if you want to kind of snap to certain angles in your drawing. So just like when I was going off to the right and the line turned green because I was going straight horizontal, that's because it will automatically snap to a 0 and a 90-degree angle, 180-degree angle, 270-degree angle. But if I want it to also snap to 45, 90, 135, kind of that 45-degree angle increments, I could click that. I like that setting. If you're doing an isometric drawing, you probably want to do 30, 60, 90. But I'm going to stick here for now because that's what we're doing. Okay. Now, next thing is this. This thing looks like a square with a little tiny square on the corner. What this tool does is it allows us to snap to certain key reference points. So like say I've already drawn a line and I want to be able to just automatically snap to or start a line or end a line at an endpoint of another line. Make sure this is clicked. If I want to be able to locate the midpoint of some element I've done, click midpoint. The center of a circle, very common thing. I would honestly go so far as to say that all of these things that I have checked off here are a really good starting point for whenever you start to do your own drawing. And I have endpoint checked right now, which means that if I want to start a new line, like I do, because I'm going to make that one go up there like that, I want to be able to snap to it. So you can see if I'm just kind of like floating around here, nothing happens, but as soon as I get close to it, you'll see that that endpoint has a green box around it, which means that it's assuming I want to start my next line right here, and I do. So I click once and move up. Now, in the drawing over here, it says that the angle from straight horizontal to this line right here is 144 degrees. But that's not how AutoCAD thinks about angles. AutoCAD thinks about angles is how far up from the horizontal to the right is that angle, is that line drawn. From here all the way across would be 180 degrees because a line is 180 degrees. And 180 minus that part over here, 144, that is 36. So I'm over here, and if I move to 36, you can see that it's in the other box. It's in that gray box right there. I know I want this line to be 42 units long, so if I type in 42 and tab, it's making sure that the line I draw is going to be 42. Now I can still move it up and down because I haven't determined what exact angle I want it to be. But as soon as I type in 36, tab, it's going to make that 36 up, and which is the equivalent of the 144 we have in the drawing. I'm going to hit enter, and it's done. At this point, this next part becomes pretty fast, right? Because this is just a matter of drawing straight horizontal and vertical lines. I know that this line is going straight up. I can see that my green line is highlighted, making sure that it's vertical. If I type in 20, enter, it's going to draw me a 20 line. Next one here is going to be 20 because 50, the distance from here to here, minus 30, the distance from here to here, must mean that this part right here is 20. All right, so I go horizontal, type in 20, great. Next line is 10 up, so I type 10 up, go over. This line is 30, enter, go down, come down. This next line here is 18. Oh, messed up, undo. So I typed in undo. and it just took me back to where I was. I didn't highlight that, I didn't make sure it was vertical. 18 down, I'm going to go 44 over, and then I'm going to go down this line even though it's not super clear, it is 18.34. Hidden right now. And so I'm going to stop my line right here because it never tells us how long this line is. It just says that this line going up is 9.78, and I know that those two things join, right? So I'm going to start one more time, make a new line, start at my origin again, click on it, and it's 9.78. Enter, and then I'm going to, because I have my snaps on and the endpoint of a line is clicked, click here, and it's done, right? And so my drawing is now done. It looks exactly right, and it's perfect, right? So right now I'm going to have you save it, and to save something, right now we're going to go to the A up here. We're going to say File, Save As, and the way I'm going to want you to name all of your drawings is going to be first name, right? First name, underscore, last name, underscore, drawing. And for this one, because it's drawing one, the assignment is drawing one, I'm going to have you write drawing one. Make sure that this is DW, it's a DWG file. DWG stands for drawing. And so make sure if for whatever reason it's not clicked on AutoCAD 2018, save it as a 2018 drawing because that's the most recent way I can save it. It's like the most advanced way of saving it. And you're going to hit save, and you're done with drawing one. Congratulations. I hope yours went as well as mine did, and have a great day.